I'm Stephen Kinzer, author of The True Flag, Theodore, Roosevelt, Mark Twain, and the Birth of American Empire. All my books are voyages of discovery. I'm always trying to find some huge event that decisively shaped history, but that for whatever reason we've forgotten. It's fallen out of our history books. That is what I've done here in this book. So I've read a lot about the period of the Spanish-American War. I understood how we took the Philippines and Puerto Rico and what we did in Cuba. But I had presumed that we made this decision almost automatically, that it was something that we did as a matter of course. We had reached our continental limits, and then we took the Philippines and Puerto Rico, and we kept going from there. That's not true. In fact, the whole United States was caught up in a great argument over whether this is a good idea. Is this a good thing to do? When you read the congressional record of this amazing 32-day debate, you will see that every argument we have ever used about whether to intervene in a foreign conflict, whether it's Vietnam or Central America or Iraq, was first made during this debate. There's nothing new in this debate. All of our arguments start here. This is the founding argument, the founding debate in the history of American foreign policy. It's truly the mother of all debates. It shaped us till this day. But this debate has been largely forgotten. Every major American political and intellectual figure took part in this debate. It was on the front pages of newspapers every day. When the Senate was debating this treaty, newspapers were filled with tallies. How many senators on this side or that side? Diplomats from other countries based in Washington were sending back reports to their home countries explaining how the debate seemed to be going. Because this was not just a debate that was going to shape the United States. It was going to shape the whole world. It was not just a debate over Puerto Rico or the Philippines. It was a debate over what kind of a country the United States was going to be forever. So this huge debate has been lost to history. It's been a fascinating thing to read. The only depressing part is, of course, that the senators in those days were so much more articulate. The speeches are spectacular, classical oratory full of references to Pliny the Elder and the Catiline conspiracy, things you'd never dream of discussing with a U.S. senator today. But the whole idea that we made this huge decision after a great national debate is something that I think we've lost. And one reason I think it's important to recover this is that for people like me who think that the United States has gone off on a wrong path in foreign policy, this history shows us that we're not on the margins. We're not coming up with something new. This is actually a rich American tradition. The idea that America should respect the freedom of people in other countries, that we should have a policy of prudent restraint in the world, is something that goes back more than a century. We are standing on the shoulders of titans as we make this argument. So we have a rich tradition that tells us we shouldn't be pushing ourselves into every country in the world, that we're not the indispensable nation, that not everybody in the world is waiting for our guidance. This is not a new idea. It all starts back in the debate that I hope I've recovered for history from 1898 and 1899. It is so relevant to what we're talking about today that when I was reading these debates, I thought only if we could bring some of the spectacular wisdom of these senators to the modern age, we could still have the same debate, but it would be on such a higher and more thoughtful, truly American level, instead of being down in the pits of deep political mudslinging. We're now at a point where we don't even want to debate the question of foreign intervention. So this book brings back the great debate and tells us how brilliant people on both sides were.